Jackson had an absolute, total, and thorough inability to sleep.
I'm here to get justice for Michael Jackson.
Your Honor, I am an innocent man.
He was not an anesthesiologist. He was not board certified in cardiology. Conrad Murray was not board certified in any medical specialty. Michael Jackson's death was a homicide.
Okay, we're a little bit late. I thought it was going to be
Once
over
you
with
advised
till
him that you would be able
they
to
had a
make
short
4
break.
tubes of the product,
missed
did
out
he
on
place
it
an order?
again.
Yes, he did.
And how many items did he order?
The whole lot, which would have been 40 of the 30-gram tubes.
Did he indicate to you that that would be sufficient for his needs, or did he ask you to obtain additional product?
I told him the circumstances of reordering, and he agreed with it, that there was no problem. So he asked me if I can make sure that I always have some on stock.
Did Conrad Murray describe for you in any further detail regarding his patient base who would be using these numerous tubes of Benequin cream?
Referring back to our initial conversation, he again said that he had many patients, African-American patients, who suffered from this condition, vitiligo, and that this was a trial basis to see how they responded to the medicine.
Did he also tell you that he had several clinics and would possibly use this product overseas on patients?
Yes.
Once Conrad Murray placed the order for the Benequin cream, was payment arranged in some fashion?
He said that he would come pick it up, and I don't remember, but initially I may have asked for a credit card, but we finally agreed that he was going to come to my office to pick it up, and he would bring a company check.
Have an exhibit I'd ask that you mark people's names, please.
63.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez, I'm going to place an exhibit on the projector and ask you if you can identify it. May the record reflect I've placed People's 63 on the projector. Mr. Lopez, from where you're seated, are you able to see this item?
Yes.
What is this document?
It's a company check written by Dr. Murray.
You want that understand?
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is your company, Applied Pharmacy,
Yes.
and the date of this check is April 1st, 2009, in the amount of $1,200. Is this payment for the Benequin cream that you've been describing for us?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, did Conrad Murray bring that check into your office personally when he picked up the Benequin cream that you've described for us?
Yes, he did.
Did you see Conrad Murray when he came into your pharmacy that day?
Yes, I did.
Do you see him here in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Would you please point to him and describe for me what clothing he's presently wearing?
Wearing a lavender shirt with purple tie and black suit.
Pointing to and identifying Dr. Murray, the defendant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lopez, when you spoke with or met with Conrad Murray, did you obtain information from him regarding his medical credentialing and authorization to purchase substances?
I did that. I don't remember if I did it then, but I did it at some point during the ordering process.
When you spoke with Dr. Murray concerning this information, did he provide you with his full name and the address of his medical office?
Yes, he did.
Was that medical office address provided to you located in Las Vegas, Nevada?
Yes.
Did Dr. Murray provide you with the information concerning his state of Nevada medical license?
Yes.
Did he also provide you with a DEA license number?
Yes, he did.
What is a DEA license number, and why is it important?
registration with the Drug Enforcement Agency, and any facility and or prescriber who wishes to procure controlled drugs needs to have that particular number.
Would the Binaquin qualify as a controlled drug?
No.
Would it be accurate to describe the DEA license as the appropriate verification or authorization for a person to order controlled substances from you?
We pharmacists use that number. That's kind of our check number that we use when a physician orders anything. And for several reasons, if you're working in a retail environment where you're billing insurance, it's a necessary number. And obviously, if you're ordering narcotics, it's a necessary number. But we just use it. It's our, for lack of a better word, it's our habit to always ask for that number from a doctor or any prescriber.
And Conrad Murray provided you with that information, correct?
Yes.
Did you also verify that his medical license was active?
Yes.
Did you verify that his medical license was unrestricted at the time that you did business with him?
I ask it in a nonchalant way. I don't directly come out and ask them, but I do ask every person who prescribes from my place their status in a delicate way.
So you asked Conrad Murray himself regarding any restrictions or any issues related to his ability to procure medications from you. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And he provided you with satisfactory information such that you were able to establish a business relationship with him, correct?
Yes.
You told us that Conrad Murray described for you a particular patient who would be utilizing the Binaquin cream due to a condition known as vitiligo, correct?
Yes.
What is vitiligo?
I don't know the exact nature. I know it's a condition that it causes whitening of the skin.
Would it be necessary for you to know the name of the specific patient anytime a physician comes in and places an order for you, as Dr. Murray did for this Binaquin cream?
In this instance, since it was a trial basis and he was a doctor administering it directly to the patient, it's not necessary. But when it came to a point where he believed that the patient could benefit long-term use, then I would have to know who the patient was.
And why is that?
Because the patient would be less under his direct control. They would be taking the drug home, using it for long-term, but if he's, in this instance, he was using it as a sample to see, I guess, the consistency of it. You're not going to see a result overnight using this cream, but it takes some time. But I could only guess that he was using it to...
Everything, starting with, I can only guess, and thereafter is stricken. Disregard that portion of the answer. The first part remains.
Mr. Lopez, in most instances, do you know the identity of a specific patient who's going to receive medications when a physician comes in and places an order?
Yes.
I'd like to focus now on the later orders placed by Conrad Murray to Applied Pharmacy Services. When Conrad Murray completed the purchase of the Binaquin and he picked it up, did you also speak to him at that point or shortly thereafter concerning other medications that he was interested in?
When he came to pick it up, I believe we discussed the possibility of delivering it to his office, any future orders, because I guess it was difficult. The timing was the time we closed, the time he got off his work. It was difficult for him to come pick them up himself.
What type of arrangements were made so that items could be delivered should that be his request?
I told him that any future items we can send a courier to his office.
Did you also discuss with him prepayment or a credit card payment that would be necessary in order for you to fulfill orders on a delivery basis?
Yes, I told him our normal practice was to have a credit card on file.
And did Conrad Murray provide you with credit card information to essentially set up a credit account at your business?
Yes, he did.
So when Conrad Murray came to your business and picked up the Binaquin cream, is at that point that he inquired about future orders and could they be delivered to his office, correct?
Correct.
I'd like to move now to April 3rd of 2009. Mr. Lopez, did you have a follow-up call from Dr. Murray concerning the Binaquin cream?
Yes, I did.
And what did Dr. Murray say to you during that follow-up phone call?
He was happy with the way the product turned out.
Did Conrad Murray ask you about any other supplies that may be available for his ordering?
He asked me if the pharmacy was able to order other things for his office use at the various offices that he worked at.
Did he give you specific examples of products or medications that he was interested in?
He asked me specifically to find pricing and availability of propofol and normal saline IV bags.
And let's start first with the normal saline IV bags. Would that be a product that you regularly sell to physicians through your pharmacy?
Yes.
Now, propofol, is that a product that you have sold or provided through your pharmacy prior to it being inquired by Conrad Murray?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Did you ask Conrad Murray regarding information about propofol in terms of strength, quantity, sizing?
He provided that information and wanted me to find out what the cost would be for first to see if I could provide it, and secondly to see what the cost would be for me to provide it to him.
Did he tell you that he wanted certain sizes? For example, the size of the vial of propofol.
My last name is
He wanted,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
he wanted the 100
primary
ml
account holder is my husband.
volume size, and he wanted the 20 ml volume size.
So at the first instance when Dr. Murray is inquiring about propofol, he provides you the information of the size of the product that he wants you to provide him information on. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And did you follow through with Dr. Murray's request and check on the prices?
Yes.
Were you able to find out that information?
Yes.
What did you do after you obtained the information that Conrad Murray had requested?
Gave him the information.
And that would be pricing and availability?
Yes.
And once you advised Conrad Murray of the pricing and availability, did he make any requests at that point in time?
He placed an order.
Would that order have been placed on or about April 6th of 2009?
Yes.
She ordered it the day that I called.
Did Conrad Murray place the order in person or on the phone?
On the phone.
And he placed it with you?
Yes.
2 months ago when I got it.
I have two documents. The first is an applied pharmacy receipt dated April 6th, 2009. May it be marked People 64, please?
Yes.
And the next document is a FedEx shipping receipt dated 4/7/2009. May it be marked People 65, please?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, please take a look at Thank you. People 64 that I placed on the projector. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, it's a financial receipt from Applied Pharmacy Services.
To the right of you, there's a laser pointer. Would you walk us through the information that's contained on your Applied Pharmacy receipt as depicted in Exhibit 64, please?
This is obviously the name of the company, our address, date it was generated, invoice number that's generated. This is a QuickBooks software, so this is the number that it generates.
And that date is 4/6/2009, correct?
Yes.
And then the next box to the left?
This is, we reserve this for the purchaser and the billing address.
And the purchaser in this instance is Conrad Murray, MD, Global Cardiovascular Associates, with an address on Flamingo Road in Las Vegas, Nevada. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now let's move down to the body of the invoice. Are you able to see that clearly from where you are?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, would you describe for us each of the items that were purchased by Conrad Murray as contained in this Applied Pharmacy receipt dated April 6, 2009?
This describes the quantity of the drug or the item, and this is a description of what the item is. So on the first line, in this instance, it's propofol comes in 10 vials of 100 milliliters of a strength of 10 milligrams per ml, and one tray of 10 individual vials was ordered of that particular volume. The second line, same thing, the difference is the volume of each vial. So one tray of 25 vials at 20 ml volume was ordered.
Let me stop you there for a second. So the first propofol order, would that be accurately described as a small vial of propofol?
It's,
There's two sizes of propofol
Yes.
vials reflected on this invoice, correct?
right,
And that would be the first two items that are in the description box, correct?
yes,
Do those propofol items represent two different sizes of the product?
yes.
Which is bigger, which is smaller?
The first one is larger volume, the second one is smaller volume.
And in the first propofol, you indicated that that contains a total quantity of how many vials?
10 vials.
I'm sorry?
10 vials.
And then the second item of propofol contains how many individual vials?
25 vials.
Thank you. And the next line? What was the product that was also purchased there?
Next line is a reorder of the first item that Dr. Murray ordered from us, which is the Benequin 20% cream, 40 tubes of 30 grams each.
And the last item?
Normal saline IV bags, 9 of them. Each bag is 1,000 milliliters.
And the column to the right of the description, that would be the price, correct?
Yes.
What was the total price for the two orders of the propofol contained in this invoice?
130 plus 65,
So $195.
$195. Yes.
And then the Benequin product was another $1,200, correct?
Yes.
And the saline bag, that came to $18, correct?
Yes.
The invoice indicates that there's a FedEx overnight charge of $38. Do you see that?
Yes.
Was this entire invoice shipped to a designated address, or was it delivered to Conrad Murray's office?
The initial attempt was a delivery to his office on Flamingo.
Describe for me what you mean by that.
The courier take the complete order to his office in Las Vegas. And upon arrival, the courier met Dr. Murray.
At the medical office?
At the medical office. Took him in the back room and went through the items to make sure everything was there that he ordered. And the courier relayed to me that several bottles of propofol were taken out of the packaging. And he had the courier call me at my office, which he did. And through the courier, Dr. Murray was speaking through the courier to me, asking if we can mail the rest of the shipment to his other office in Los Angeles.
So Dr. Murray removed some of the propofol vials that are reflected on this invoice and then requested that the remaining items on the invoice be shipped to another location.
Yes.
Did Dr. Murray tell you or represent to you that he had a medical office at this other location?
Yes.
And where was that other location where he desired to have the items shipped?
He read the address through my courier, and it was an address in Santa Monica.
So let's take a look at exhibit number 65. Do you recognize what this document is?
It's a Federal Express tracking.
Is that an applied pharmacy Federal Express receipt that was used in April of 2009?
Yes.
Do you recognize your shipper account number there that I'm pointing to with my laser pointer under the shipper account number section?
Yes.
And who's Melissa Elias?
Pharmacy clerk.
She was working at your pharmacy. Would she be in charge of shipping?
Yes.
And this address here, delivered to 15406 Street, number 404, would that be information that was provided from Conrad Murray regarding the desired location for this item to be shipped to?
Yes.
And you followed his instructions and had this items in this receipt outside of the ones that the propofol vials he took out of the original delivery, and shipped the remaining propofol vials, the saline solution, and the Binaquin cream to the Santa Monica location?
The courier brought everything back to the office minus the items that Dr. Murray took out, and the remainder was shipped to that address.
And the ship date here is reflected 4/7/2009, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, going back for a moment to People 64, in total, how many vials of propofol are contained on this invoice dated April 6, 2009?
10 of the 100 ml volume and 25 of the 20 ml volume.
So on April 6th, 35 total vials of propofol was provided to Conrad Murray. Is that accurate?
Yes.
When you were conversing through your courier with Conrad Murray while he was at his medical office in Las Vegas, did you verify with Conrad Murray that the items that he had purchased and then requested to be shipped to a location in Santa Monica, California, did you verify with him that the medications would be under his control and shipped to a medical office?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to turn now to April 28, 2009. receipt, I ask that it be marked People's Number 66, please.
Yes.
And it's an applied pharmacy receipt. I also have a FedEx receipt dated April 28th. May it be marked People 67?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, please direct your attention to People 66, another applied pharmacy invoice that has been placed on the projector. Do you recognize People's Number 66 to also be an applied pharmacy receipt reflecting a purchase by Conrad Murray, MD, on April 28th, 2009?
Yes.
Was this an order placed by Conrad Murray on the telephone, similar to the order he placed earlier in April?
Yes.
And did he place this order with you?
Yes.
And on this invoice, would you describe for us the items that were purchased by Conrad Murray and billed to him on this invoice?
First item is propofol, 10 vials of 100 ml each, 4 trays of that.
So how many total vials of propofol would be represented in that first description?
40.
40?
40.
And the next purchase?
1 tray of propofol, a tray of 25 at 20 mLs each.
And how many total vials are represented in that order?
25.
So the total number of vials purchased on this invoice, April 28, 2009, would be 65 vials of propofol. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I noticed that this invoice also indicates a charge for FedEx overnight shipping. Were you instructed where to ship this order of propofol?
Yes, I was asked to ship it to the Santa Monica address.
And the total cost for this invoice for the propofol was $585 plus the shipping cost for a total invoice of $611. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, I'd like to ask you to direct your attention to People's 67. Do you recognize this document to also be a shipping invoice with your applied pharmacy shipper account number and your employee Melissa Elias's name, reflecting a ship date of 4/28/2009, shipped to Nicole Alvarez at 15406 Street in Santa Monica, California?
Yes.
Mr. Dean, Ms. Bizzotti, let me know.
Now's a good place, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take the noon recess at this time. As always, remember the admonitions, whether in writing and or...
I'd like to move now to the next order placed by Conrad Murray on or about April 30th of 2009. Before we get into the specifics of the items purchased on that date, did Conrad Murray call you at that time and inquire about injectable medications?
I believe so.
Did he contact you and inquire about purchasing lorazepam in an injectable form?
Yes.
Did Conrad Murray also inquire about the availability of midazolam might be able to provide to him.
Yes.
Is lorazepam available in another form other than an injectable?
Pill.
Is midazolam also available in a pill form as well as injectable?
Injectable only.
Is it injectable only?
Yes.
When Dr. Murray inquired about lorazepam and midazolam, did you again verify his DEA information, Drug Enforcement Administration information?
Yes, I did.
Sir, I have an exhibit. I asked that it be marked People's, I believe it's 67.
No, we're up to 68.
Thank you, Your Honor. 68. It's an applied pharmacy receipt. I have a corresponding document. I'd ask that it be marked People 69. It's the shipping information for that invoice.
Mark.
Mr. Lopez, please take a look at the exhibit that's been marked as People 68 on the projector. Are you able to see that, or should I ask the clerk to turn the lights down?
I can see it.
Okay?
How about the jurors, though?
Would the court inquire, Your Honor?
Lights or no lights?
Thank you, Your
Some
Honor.
yes, some no. The no's prevail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Mr. Lopez, let's take a look at this invoice dated April 30th, 2009. It's another order placed by Conrad Murray, correct?
Yes.
And describe for us the items that were purchased by Conrad Murray on April 30th, both in terms of their description, the number of individual medications, please. Starting with the first line.
First line is lorazepam. Concentration is 4 milligram per milliliter. Comes in individual vials. There's 10 vials. Each vial has 10 milliliters. And it's packaged in a tray of 10 vials of 10 milliliters. And he ordered one tray.
So he received 10 vials of lorazepam from that order, correct?
Yes.
And the next line, what order does that reflect?
The second one is midazolam. Concentration 1 milligram per milliliter. Again, individual vials. There's a quantity of 10 vials per tray. Each vial has 2 milliliters. And 2 trays were ordered, so a total of 20 vials.
So in this invoice on April 30, 2009, Conrad Murray ordered 10 vials of lorazepam and 20 vials of midazolam. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Lopez, do you recognize the exhibit that's been marked as People's number 69 as the FedEx bill of lading that corresponds to the applied pharmacy invoice that we just discussed, containing the lorazepam and the midazolam?
Yes.
And this shipment as well was shipped to the address requested by Conrad Murray on 6th Street in Santa Monica?
Yes.
Lights on?
Please, Your Honor.
Please.
Mr. Lopez, I'd like to direct your attention now to the time frame of approximately the first 2 weeks in May. During that time frame, did you have an opportunity to discuss several items with Conrad Murray, including Benequin cream and energy formulations?
Yes.
In that general time frame, did Dr. Murray also discuss with you a medication that would assist in eliminating injection site pain on a patient?
Yes.
First, I'd like to discuss the Benequin cream. In that period of the first 2 weeks in May, what, if anything, did Conrad Murray say to you concerning the Benequin cream that he had been ordering from you and that you had been compounding for him?
He had a concern regarding the base or the vehicle which the drug is in. He wanted it less greasy. So I told him that I can do several different formulations to try to eliminate the greasiness and get the consistency that he was looking for.
Did Dr. Murray also inquire about changes in packaging of the Benequin cream?
He first asked about can it be packaged in a larger size. We were initially doing it in 30-gram size, and he wanted to know if it could be done in a larger size. I said we can do that. And then he wanted it more aesthetically pleasing, the packaging to look better than we just normally package in a plain white tube. And my understanding was he wanted it to look a little better than that.
So you discussed these requests by Dr. Murray, correct?
Yes.
Did you also discuss with Dr. Murray at his request energy formulations?
Yes, he asked me to do some research to find if there was any product out there, whether it was something I made or something already readily available, that would provide, for lack of a better way to describe it, an energy boost. We briefly spoke about it at that time. I mentioned some options using side effects of certain drugs that would cause wakefulness. He made it clear that he didn't want to use any kind of narcotic or any kind of prescription drug. He wanted to use something on the natural side or something of a supplement side.
And did he describe for you what he needed this for?
He said for wakefulness and for energy.
So how did you leave it with Dr. Murray regarding his inquiry of the energy boost formulations?
I told him I would look into it, that I wasn't really familiar with anything off the top of my head, that I'd have to do some research to see what other people were using or literature that supported those kind of things.
Did you also discuss with Conrad Murray a topical anesthetic?
Yes, he mentioned that some of his patients were complaining about injection site pain from the needles. And in common practice, there's a drug called EMLA.
Would you spell that, please?
E-M-L-A.
And what is IMLA?
It's a combination of two topical anesthetics. And one of them is lidocaine. Dr. Murray said that he preferred a topical agent that only had lidocaine in it. So I told him that I could make a 2% lidocaine cream, and that's what I did.
When you say cream for an injection site, would I be correct that the lotion or ointment would just be rubbed on the top of your skin and it would act as a numbing agent to prevent pain when a needle is injected in one's body?
Correct.
I'd like to move now to May 12th of 2009. Did Conrad Murray place a telephonic order with you on or around that date?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have an exhibit. I ask that it be marked next, please.
70.
It would be an APS, Applied Pharmacy Sales Receipt. I also have a second document. I'd ask that it be marked People's Number 71. It's the corresponding shipping bill, UPS, dated May 12th, 2009.
Mark.
Mr. Lopez, again, please turn your attention to an Applied Pharmacy receipt that I have placed on the overhead projector. This sales receipt is dated May 12th, 2009, sold to Conrad Murray. Would you direct your attention to the description of the items that were ordered by Conrad Murray and describe what those items are, please?
Okay. First item is propofol, 10 milligram per milliliter, quantity of 10 vials of 100 milliliters each. So that would be he ordered 4. It would be 4 separate trays of 10 vials at 100 milliliters each, which would be 40 vials total.
And the next item?
Propofol, 10 milligram per ml, quantity 25 vials at 20 milliliters each. So one tray of that, the total quantity would be 25 vials.
And the next item?
Midazolam, 1 milligram per milliliter vial, 10 vials in each tray. Each vial has 2 milliliters. 2 trays are ordered, so a quantity of 20 vials.
And the next item?
Flumazenil, 0.1 milligram per ml. 10 vials of half a ml each. 1 tray was ordered, so a total quantity of 10 vials.
And the last item?
Lidocaine cream, 2%, quantity of 1, and though it doesn't say here, I remember that we packaged it in 30 grams.
And that would be the lidocaine cream that you discussed with Dr. Murray to assist with injection site pain?
Yes.
So on this receipt, May 12, 2009, Dr. Murray ordered 65 separate vials of propofol, 20 vials of midazolam, 10 vials of flumazenol, and some lidocaine cream, correct?
That's correct.
Number 71. Lopez, do you recognize this to be yet another FedEx receipt with your shipper account number and corresponding to an order placed on 5/12/2009, shipped the same day at the request of Conrad Murray to the 6th Street location in Santa Monica, California?
Yes.
Turning now to May 14th of 2009, did you have yet another conversation with Conrad Murray concerning lidocaine cream?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of this additional conversation about lidocaine cream?
He wasn't getting the desired response with the 2% cream, so he wanted me to increase the strength.
What strength did he ask for?
4%.
So twice as strong as the previous order?
Yes.
Did Conrad Murray also follow up on his previous request about the energy formulation?
We discussed that as well. He asked me how my research was going. I suggested several items to him that he wanted to know more information about them, so we agreed that I would continue to do more research.
Did you also have a conversation following up on the Benequin cream orders that you had been fulfilling for him?
Yes, I told him that I can change the vehicle, the base of the cream, to the desired consistency he wanted, and we agreed that I would send him 3 separate samples of different bases, and he could determine which one he liked better.
And that would be attempting to address the greasiness that he had described for you that was unsatisfactory in the previous formulation, correct?
Yes.
Did you also discuss with Dr. Murray Benequin cream? I'm sorry, did you also discuss with him hydroquinone cream?
Yes.
And what was that conversation about?
He mentioned that he read some literature that he heard that that drug was also used for whitening. He asked me about it, my experience with it, and I told him that I've worked with it many times with many different physicians. So he was interested in also getting a sample of that to see how that cream worked.
And on this particular occasion, did Conrad Murray place an order around May 14th for the higher percentage of lidocaine topical cream, the Benequin cream?
Yes.
Did you have a conversation during this time period with Dr. Murray related to delivery of these items?
Yes.
And what was that conversation about?
I was driving to Los Angeles Airport that weekend, so I thought rather than charge him Federal Express charges to mail the items to him, I offered to drive it to his office.
And what was his response to your offer to drop off these items at his medical office?
Yes, he said there was no need to do that. He said just use the delivery system like always.
Your Honor, I have 2 additional documents. The first is a May 14th, 2009 applied pharmacy receipt, may it be marked People 72?
Yes.
And the corresponding shipping receipt, may it be marked People 73, please?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, People 72, does this receipt accurately document the cream that we previously discussed as requested by Conrad Murray?
Yes, the RX number here corresponds to the lidocaine 4% cream.
And showing you what has been marked as People 73, do you again recognize this document as your shipping documentation corresponding to the May 14th, 2009 sales receipt for the lidocaine cream sold to Conrad Murray and shipped to the requested address on 6th Street in Santa Monica?
Yes.
Turning now to June 1st of 2009, did you have yet another conversation with Conrad Murray concerning energy formulations?
Yes.
Did you make additional suggestions to Conrad Murray as to a product that might suit his needs?
Yes, I did.
Did Murray request that you send him some capsules so that he could try them out?
Yes, he did.
Do you recall when you shipped these items to him? In other words, did you ship them with a later order, June 10th, 2009?
Yes.
I'd like to turn now to June 10th of 2009. Did Conrad Murray place yet another telephonic order to you for items reflected on a sales receipt dated June 10th, 2009?
Yes.
Your Honor, may this document, June 10th, 2009 sales receipt from Applied Pharmacy, be marked People's Next, please?
74.
Thank you. And I have a corresponding Federal Express document. May it be marked People 75, please?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, taking a look at People 74, do you recognize this to be a June 10th invoice of merchandise sold to Conrad Murray?
Yes.
Would you, again, direct your attention to the description portion of this invoice and tell us specifically what items were purchased by Conrad Murray?
The first item is lidocaine, 1% strength, 25 vials at 30 milliliters each. So quantity of one tray, so total quantity is 25 vials. Second item is propofol, 10 milligram per milliliter, 10 vials of 100 mLs each. 4 trays are ordered, total of 40 vials at 100 milliliters. Third item is propofol, 10 milligram per milliliter, 25 vials of 20 milliliters each. 2 trays were ordered of that, so a total of 50 vials of the 20 milliliter propofol. Fourth,
I'm sorry, please, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Fourth item is hydroquinone 8% cream, packaged in a 60-gram tube, 20 tubes. The last item is Benequin 20% strength, 60-gram tube, 20 tubes.
The total number of individual vials of propofol shipped on this June 10th, 2009 order would be what, sir?
90.
Recognize this document to be yet another Federal Express shipping confirmation of the date of June 10th, 2009, reflecting a shipment sent to Conrad Murray at the 6th Street location in Santa Monica?
Yes.
On June 15th of 2009, did Dr. Murray call you and place an order for additional medications?
Yes.
Prior to my asking you about the specific items, did Dr. Murray provide you with any follow-up information regarding the energy formulation that you sent to him?
Yes, he said he was happy with the result, and he inquired about the pricing.
Brenner, I have a June 15th, 2009 applied pharmacy sales receipt. May it be marked People 76, please?
Yes.
And I have the corresponding Federal Express receipt. May it be marked People 77, please?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, I have another applied pharmacy receipt. Thank you. Dated June 15th, 2009. Another sale to Conrad Murray. Would you please assist us and describe the items purchased?
First item is lorazepam, 4 milligram per milliliter, 10 vials of 10 milliliters each. One tray of that was ordered, so total 10 vials of 10 milliliters. The second one is midazolam, 1 milligram per milliliter vial, 10 vials of 2 milliliters each. Two trays of that were ordered, so a total of 20 vials at 2 milliliters each. The last item is normal saline IV bags, 1,000 milliliters in each bag, quantity 1.
The lorazepam is an injectable formula.
Yes.
Same with the midazolam, also injectable.
Yes.
So that would be a total of 30 vials of injectable medications on this order.
Yes.
And finally, do you recognize what's been marked as People 77 as a Federal Express confirmation for the shipment date June 15th, 2009, sold to Conrad Murray and shipped to the 6th Street address in Santa Monica?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, during any of the orders that Conrad Murray placed and that we've covered during your testimony today, did Conrad Murray ever disclose to you that he was Michael Jackson's physician?
No.
Did Conrad Murray ever reveal to you the name of any patient during your conversations with him?
No.
Did you speak with Conrad Murray on the phone either the 23rd or the 24th of June,
Yes, I did.
just shortly before Mr. Jackson's death?
Yes.
Did Conrad Murray call you?
Yes.
Would you describe that conversation, please?
The initial call was to the office, and my clerk answered the phone and was speaking with them. She had a hard time understanding what he was saying. There was a lot of background noise, she said. I took the phone, and again, he was talking to me, but I couldn't really figure out what he was saying because there was a lot of noise in the background, like an open window in a car. And so I told him I would call him the next day because it was near closing time. It was around 5 o'clock, and I wanted to go home, and I didn't want to stay on the phone trying to figure out what he was saying.
Did you ever call him back?
No.
Did you learn on June 25th, 2009 that Michael Jackson died?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, after reviewing all of the orders placed by Conrad Murray to you, can you provide me with the total number of propofol vials that were sold and shipped to Conrad Murray?
I can confirm the number.
Is the number 255?
Yes.
Did you also, in total, sell and ship 20 separate vials of lorazepam to Conrad Murray?
Yes.
And did you also sell and ship 60 separate vials of midazolam to Conrad Murray?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. I have no further questions.
Mr. Zill, thank you. Cross-examination by the defense, Mr. Gauthier?
Yes, thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Lopez, you testified that prior to filling any orders, you would want to verify that the person you're speaking with is a licensed physician, correct?
Yes.
And one of the ways you do that is you ask for the person's medical license number, correct?
Yes.
Another way is his DEA license number?
Correct.
Okay, and that information was provided to you by Dr. Murray, correct?
Yes.
And you checked up on that information?
When you say checked up, I didn't go to a database, but our pharmacy software system has a number checking system on it.
And is that when you input the DEA number?
Correct.
And if there's any red flags, it would alert you to it, correct?
It would tell you if it's an incorrect number.
Okay, and in this case, everything checked out, there was no red flags or incorrect numbers, correct?
Correct.
So Dr. Murray was authorized to place these orders for these medications, correct?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned a Benequine, isn't that correct?
Yes.
And what was Benequine?
It's a bleaching agent.
Okay, is that a cream used to whiten skin?
Yes.
Okay, and that's not a controlled substance, correct?
Correct.
Now, is propofol a controlled substance?
No.
Okay, and aside from putting the packaging together and shipping it off to Dr. Murray, are you familiar with propofol?
No, not really.
Okay, as far as how much is needed for a particular reason or whatnot?
No.
Okay. Now, you testified that some of this medication was shipped to an address in Los Angeles, correct?
Yes.
And that was the address in Santa Monica that Dr. Murray had provided you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, was there anything wrong with shipping medication to a address provided by a doctor?
No.
Okay, so as long as the doctor directs you to ship the medication and tells you, I will have control of that medication, that's okay for you, correct? There's nothing that requires you to only ship medication to a clinic or a hospital, correct?
Well, that nature of that medicine I would only mail to a clinic or a hospital.
Okay, is there some regulation that says you could only ship medication to a hospital?
There's no regulation that I know of.
Okay. And in fact, the medications I just asked you about are not even controlled substances, correct?
Correct.
All right. And one of the times I think you mentioned was that the shipment was personally delivered by a courier, correct?
Yes.
And was that by one of your employees by the name of Yuka?
Yuka.
Yuka?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize for that. And when Yuka returned, he told you, wow, I just met with Dr. Murray, and he was a really nice and respectful person, correct?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
And Yuka was very pleased with his encounter with Dr. Murray, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and Dr. Murray, in fact, invited Yuka back to his office, correct?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
And isn't it true Yuka indicated to you that everybody else had treated him like crap and nobody would pay attention to him?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
And that's not the experience he had with Dr. Murray, correct?
Objection, hearsay.
Well, it assumes facts not in evidence based upon my earlier ruling, and it also calls for hearsay. Sustained.
Now, Mr. Lopez, isn't it also common that when physicians call and place an order that they don't disclose the patient's name?
When it's being used for office, that's correct.
Okay. And a lot of times it's the physician wants to protect the client's privacy, correct? The patient's privacy?
or sometimes they don't know who the patient is.
Okay. And that's especially true when dealing with high-profile clients, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Mr. Gorgian, thank you. Ms. Brazil, redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I just have a couple of questions, and I also have an additional exhibit that I failed to mark, Your Honor. First, Mr. Lopez, on the subject of confidentiality, if a physician shared with you the name of a patient, would you then use that information in any type of inappropriate manner?
No.
You would, of course, keep it privileged and confidential, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have an exhibit that I'd ask be marked People's Next, please. It says 78. It's an applied pharmacy receipt dated April 12, 2009. Briefly,
You want to reopen?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
I will allow both sides to reopen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez, please take a look at People's Number 78. Early in my direct examination, you verified a $1,200 check that you received on or about April 1st for your first transaction with Dr. Murray. And I'd like to ask you, does this receipt from Applied Pharmacy dated April 1st, 2009 correspond with that order of Benequin lotion in the amount of $1,200?
Yes.
I just have one other minor clarification, Mr. Lopez. Thank you for the lights again. Directing your attention back to People's Number 76, I believe that you told us that the third item here, the saline solution, the quantity is 1. Is that one box or one individual saline bag?
One case, one box.
And how many individual saline bags are in a case like that?
12.
So it would be a total of 12 individual saline bags, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Recross, and the defense may reopen cross if it wishes, Mr. Gorgian.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. May Mr. Lopez step down subject to recall, Ms. Brazil?
No, yes, thank you, Your Honor. You may be excused.
Excused? Okay.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Gorgian? Yes. Thank you. Mr. Lopez, I want to thank you for your testimony. Sir, please do not discuss your testimony or the facts of the case with any other witnesses until we finish the trial. You may step down and leave. However, you want to remain on call, and that means you're subject to recall up until the end of the trial if necessary. Is that okay? Thank you. Ms. Brazil, Mr. Law.
May we approach, Your Honor?
Yes. a moment, please. Thank you. Thank you. I had mentioned to you at one point in time that there would be scheduling issues. This is one of those. So at this point in time, because of scheduling-related matters, we are going to take the evening recess and adjournment. I know it's early, and I apologize for any inconvenience, but it will give you a little head start on traffic. We're trying to do things in an orderly fashion, and in order to do it, I think both sides have agreed it's best to take the recess and adjournment right now and resume tomorrow morning. So bear in mind, and of course, follow unhesitatingly and fully these admonitions. I'll wait a moment. Do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else, or form or express any opinions about the case until it is submitted finally to you. Do not visit any location or scene that may have been referenced, mentioned, or involved in the case. Don't perform any experiments, or through another person or on your own, conduct any independent research or investigation on any topics, subjects, or persons mentioned or involved in this case. This means not coming into contact with any television or radio programs, newspaper or magazine articles, books, or the Internet regarding any of those topics, subjects, or persons. Do not access, on your own or through another person, any Internet website, certainly including but not limited to any search engine sites such as Google, Ask, or Bing, or social networking site, including but not limited to MySpace or Facebook, or text or tweet or receive any texts or tweets, or access any blogs or post any messages on any topics, subjects, or persons mentioned or involved in the case. You should not have any contact or communication whatsoever with the defendant, the attorneys, the witnesses, or the spectators. If anybody approaches you in an effort to discuss any aspects of this case, tell that person you will not discuss anything further about the case and immediately end the conversation. If anybody contacts you or tries to contact you or tries to hand you a business card in an effort to maintain contact so that at a later point in time you can provide a person or organization with any information about this case, don't do it. And immediately bring any misconduct from any and all of those sources to the court's attention by notifying the bailiffs or the court clerk. Once again, this case will be tried based upon the evidence presented in the courtroom and the law that I give to you, not from any outside source or person. Again, do you accept unhesitatingly and assure and promise me that you will follow these orders? Thank you. Please feel free to access on a regular basis the written order form, which I will test you on at the end of the court trial. We're going to ask that you join us tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. Now, if the weather reports are true, there is a big storm coming in, unlike regular LA storms. So monitor the weather reports. Feel free to do that so that you can plan accordingly. You've been very, very responsible, and if there's any kind of problem, you know whom to call, and we'll certainly accommodate you. But we'll be in recess for your purposes until 8:45 a.m. tomorrow. And in the meantime, thank you for your continued patience, and have a good day and good evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night.